Got this from the Post Millennial. AOC considers 2028 presidential run. Please.
I mean, look, I know there are a lot of people that give me hell about this, but she is a compelling politician. I would never vote for her. I don't support any of her ideas.
She can't win.
Right? I mean, maybe she won't, but I don't know that she wouldn't get a lot of support.
Let me clarify. She can win, but that's like also saying I can win the lottery. And I'm gonna tell you why. She is a woman.
No, I'm gonna push back on that. It all depends on the economy. And I truly believe this. If the economy is in the tank when the next presidential election comes, the Republicans are in a world of hurt.
I don't think so.
I do.
I think we're in a totally different world. I think, especially with the assassination of Charlie Kirk, this is something changed in that moment where these liberals that are desperately trying to frame him, basically. It's crazy. Like, I've had conversations with some people who I would consider to be not psychotic liberals, but still liberals. And I have to explain to them, Charlie never said black people don't have brain processing power. Look, that's made up.
I want you to be right. Like, I want to think that there has been a change, that there are going to be fewer and fewer Democrats because of the malicious streak running through.
That's not what I'm saying.
What?
I'm saying that we're at the point where they're shooting and killing people, and the economy won't be as big as an issue as the IED that blew up in your marketplace.
As big as what?
The economy is not going to be the most pressing issue when an IED blows up in your marketplace.
Well, okay, so fair enough. Then that's a significantly different context. If there's actually
in a normal functioning America with political dispute, it's the economy, stupid.
Yes.
But when we are in the who was it who said this? When it might have been Milo. I don't know. When your nation tolerates assassinations, you're on the verge of collapse. Something like that. Or a nation that can tolerate political assassinations will not stand. And AOC just issued a letter. She sent out a letter to her supporters demonizing Charlie Kirk.
Oh, she did it from the floor of the Congress today. It was awful, disgusting.
And so when you're in a country where Charlie Kirk is, I'll put it like this. When Democrats are intentionally making up fake quotes that Charlie Kirk never said because they want him to be evil, they are saying, we don't care what you actually believe. We want you to die. So I will stress this. There is a video of Charlie Kirk that's going viral right now where he throws out a white identitarian from his event. He screams at him, get out of line, get out. You are not welcome here. And they're claiming he was a white supremacist when he literally argued against these people and threw them out of his events. A nation that has a political faction that says, we don't care what you actually believe. We will tell you what we want to convey. We will tell you what we say you believe. So where do you go? You could literally come out and be like, no, I agree with you. And they're like, we don't care what you say. We're going to lie about what you said, and now you're dead. Because that's what they're doing to Charlie. Yeah. And so I feel like that there's I'll put it like this. When Charlie Kirk is the guy who actually says you are not welcome in our movement to white supremacists and racists, and then they come out and say, actually, he was exactly what he condemned. Okay, if they want to kill you, they'll make up whatever reason they want.
Yeah, precisely. Yeah.
And what does that mean for an election? So I think, certainly at the pace Trump is already at with 48 confirmations, his appointees getting confirmed in one swoop, which is crazy. I'm like, at this pace, with the terminations, the people losing their jobs, Trump ramming this thing through, announcing the Antifa terror stuff, I'm like, what, next week we're going to start getting arrests of Democrats? I mean, the pace is absolutely insane. I think that the temperature is extremely hot. We've already got these ICE protests. They are now justifying everything they've said about why people should die by making up fake quotes about Charlie Kirk. They're claiming Trump is literally Hitler. It is insane, the lies they're posting about Jimmy Kimmel. There's no off-ramp. And so I fear in the next year, attacks are going to increase. The economy is not going to be the issue for most people. Now, I can only say this. I am not your average person. And so, maybe the death threats get to me. I don't know, maybe. But I have a security team, and the assessment we've made going through what they're telling me, looking at the current available information is right now, The threat could not be higher. The risk of terror and political violence could not be higher. The pot has boiled over. And so the advice to us is stop and wait. These public events don't do it. These public events like that I'm hosting and also being a part of, just don't do it. Don't go out. And we've got to have like 3 people with us when we go out. That's from what we are seeing online. They're not just saying, we heard in the news this happened, so we're going to advise this. They're saying, we've been reading social media. We've been looking at the chats of these groups. We've been doing security and intel analyses on Antifa and these far left groups. And they're like, yeah, someone's going to make an attack soon. And I'm sure Trump knows this. And I think there's a reason why he put up that tweet about Antifa or that Truth Social post. I don't think it was just arbitrary. One day it's like, I'm bored. I'm gonna make a news cycle. I think they were like, we have to make a move now, especially after the Charlie Kirk thing.
Yeah. Definitely. Well, I think we're seeing something play out now that's similar to what happened in kind of the late 60s and the early 70s, where when, liberals got some victories, they got the Civil Rights Act and so forth, but the far left radicals wanted something far more extreme. They wanted like a communist revolution. And when that didn't come, they started to, eventually you got Nixon, they started to get very disheartened and, they're very desperate, basically. So, the Weathermen became the Weather Underground. A lot of these groups went underground and they turned to terrorism. And, you had thousands of bombings. It was insane, attacks on cops. And I don't think
they won.
Pardon me?
And they won.
Yeah, in a sense, it kind of, some of these people ended up becoming college professors and,
and mentoring presidents.
Yeah, exactly. So, they didn't get the full communist revolution, but they played a part in accelerating it. Absolutely. Yep. And I think what we're seeing now is the resistance to Trump that existed after he won the first time. It's it kind of evaporated, right? A lot of people, even liberals, remark that, the resistance after 2024 wasn't there. You didn't have big companies and liberal groups, really opposing it. So what do you have now? You have a lot of mentally ill people who have been told that, anything other than extreme gay race communism is fascism, which is not the case.
Yep.
And therefore, basically they think they're actually living under fascism. So what you're going to have now is less of mass organized resistance and more kind of lone wolf terrorism like we saw unfortunately, that claimed Charlie Kirk's life. And so I absolutely think, unfortunately, there's going to be more stuff like that. It's not going to be the black bloc in the streets, riots, fighting with Trump supporters. It's going to be, lone wolves, small, potentially terror cells taking people out.
I think there's the potential for it to escalate, but I do think right now, based on the current set of factors before us, not counting for variables that move as we move forward in the future, we are looking at a high probability of a right-wing authoritarian form of government for the next decade plus. Could theoretically be longer. And there's a lot of factors that predict this. One, for those that think we're tracking alongside Rome, some people have thought maybe we're entering the American Empire period where you get an authoritarian state. There's a lot of similarities, but I think people cherry pick the Roman Empire and the Roman Republic to determine, it's like a lot of these things happen hundreds of years apart from each other.
Sure.
And everyone's like, but look, this happened, then this, look what's happening in America, Rome, and look what happened then, Rome. And I'm like, yeah, those two things you're highlighting as things from Rome is Rome in 100 AD and Rome in 500 is very far apart. But I think with the far left attack, with Donald Trump, winning a popular vote, people largely being on his side, the messages that I'm seeing from normies based on Charlie Kirk, and there are posts from people who were liberal a year ago that I follow, like people in various industries that I'm a fan of or follow, and they're cheering on Charlie Kirk. It is wild. It is. I'll tell you this: pro skateboarders who've never uttered a political word posting online videos saying Charlie Kirk was a great man. And I'm like, I did not know that guy was even a Christian.
Yeah.
But this really made them come forward. The left is going to feel very, very desperate. I think Trump is going to do a hard crackdown on these NGOs, and they will react violently. Trump will then respond with the security apparatus.
Yeah.
No, go ahead. Well, I don't know that I agree that there's going to be a significant authoritarian push. I do think that the left is going to behave as if there is one, and I think we're seeing it. Now
that necessitates an expansion of the security state.
Do you think Trump has the stomach to do that?
Yep.
I'm not so sure.
He deployed the Marines into California.
Yeah, he certainly has the mandate.
He deployed the Marines into California, but he deployed them only in support of the existing law enforcement. So I'm not sure. I just don't know that. I don't know that that's what Trump wants to do. And I'm not saying that a future president wouldn't, or it wouldn't be necessary. I just don't know if I don't know if Donald Trump's the guy.
Well, there's massive expansions of DHS and ICE, and
It all comes down to what you consider right-wing authoritarianism. I think Trump is definitely, even now more than before Charlie Kirk's murder, like definitely convinced that he needs to do more in terms of law enforcement, going after Antifa, just cracking down in general. So for some, that will qualify as authoritarianism. For others, it's just law and order.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm on the record saying that I think that Antifa should be considered a terrorist organization.
Yeah.
They're-
Let's clarify this. So I was asked earlier by some of the homies, what does that mean? And I'm like, if Trump does enact sweeping security powers, none of us would notice. Yeah. You'll go to Chicago, and there will be some National Guard on the various street corners. You'll have no hassle, no problems, no trouble. You will see less shootings. Crime will be way better. Your worst case scenario is you're walking down the street and they say, hey, how's it going there, sir? You show me your ID for a minute. And you'd be like, oh, yeah, here you go. And they'll be like, all right, where you headed? And you'll be like, I'm going to Maxwell Street, get a Polish sausage. They'll be like, have a good day, sir. That's the worst case scenario for the average person. There is going to be concerns and infringement possibility. The issue is the government corrupt or not? And the deployment of National Guard and military to stop acts of terror, far-left violence, or crime does not mean your rights will be infringed upon as a normal working-class person. I still think it is particularly worrying if we get to that point. And I have said, I think Trump should deploy the National Guard over the crime. It is a very scary thing that we're at that point.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, yeah, the left only has themselves to blame for just permitting this open, I would say, oppression of their citizens in the cities. I mean, this has been 60 years now of complete inaction on crime. So now that an administration has come in and the Americans who have been forced out into the suburbs are saying, hey, it'd be really nice if I could go downtown and have dinner without getting shot at. Trump has the mandate now to do this. And so they only really have themselves to blame for not acting.
I got to be honest, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to clap and cheer for it. And for good reason. Yeah. I mean, like, I've talked about where I grew up, and I've asked my friends about it. Which would you prefer? The gangbangers running around shooting people and mugging people, or National Guard? And they just laugh.
Yeah.
And they're like, why would anyone care the National Guard was there? Like, literally, no one would bat an eye. Yeah. They don't. We've seen National Guard out in various instances, and you don't even talk to them.
Yeah.
Instead, do we have to deal with this? So there's going to be a lot of high crime areas where they're going to be like, thank you, Mr. President.
Sure. Oh, that's what my hometown of Memphis is. I mean, like 80%.
Oh, yeah.
80% of the city is off limits, especially if you're like a white guy. You're cooked. So it's like,
oh, Trump's going in.
Yes, and he's finally going in, and it's wonderful. And I'm sitting here like, I think even people that know people in jail aren't even going to be disturbed by this. Like, oh, I can go for a walk now, and I won't get shot at. This is fantastic.
It's wild that we got to this point.
Yeah.
It's very similar to what happened in El Salvador. I mean, the steps that Bukele took to restore order to the streets of San Salvador and obviously the rest of the country were pretty. I don't want to say severe, but yeah, pretty harsh. And yeah, people are. I was there for the first time, kind of late August, and yeah, people were happy though. There are some people down there that have concerns about, dictator. Some Uber drivers saying that, but the average person is like, even if they have concerns, is like, it is undeniably better. Like you couldn't walk down the street before.
I met a guy in D.C. who said he was moving back. He was from El Salvador.
Yeah, there's a lot.
He was a young man.
Wow.
Yeah,
and
remigration.
I was talking, and I forgot how it came up, but I asked him where he was from. He was like El Salvador, and I was like, "How is it down there? I've been hearing good things." And he goes, "Actually, I'm moving back." He's like, "My parents want to go back too." And then I was like, "No way." He's like, "Oh yeah, it's really nice now. In fact, people are getting rich." Because the property values are starting to skyrocket.
Yeah,
a lot of foreigners want to move there. Bitcoin Beach, good luck. So these beach properties that were a couple $100,000, in US, are skyrocketing in value because it's safe, and you've got tech industry building up there. I mean, Bukele has revolutionized that country. It's amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's a small country too, so you're talking about property prices. So there's only so much of it. And when I was down there, you mentioned the people moving back, the Salvadoran immigrants. Apparently there's some sort of problems with that where, they're coming back and they've got a lot of money and they're buying up property too, and it's kind of a chaotic situation, but it's like undeniably better than how it was before. So in an ideal situation, you don't have to adopt those harsh measures to have like a safe, prosperous society.
Right.
But once you get to the point where crime and disorder have eaten away at the social fabric so much, it's really, do you let your country die and be a hellhole, or do you do whatever is necessary to get there?
Let's be real. I mean, from the outside looking at El Salvador, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
I have friends who have moved down there. They say it's fantastic. Would we not want that same kind of reform for the United States? Mm-hmm. Now, but think about what that means.
It's extremely popular in El Salvador.
He went and rounded up all the gangs. There's, there's stories of people. It's like get a gang tattoo. They just arrested you on the spot, and so you're going to jail. We're done.
Yeah.
So, I mean, do we want to live that way? I think there's concerns and challenges in what overreach could look like. But if we went half the speed of El Salvador to ensure that we protected rights, but moved in that direction, it'd be a good thing.
Yeah, it's just stuff like having the proper sentencing, having attorneys and DAs and judges that are willing to actually ensure that people serve the time that they're due. I don't think it would take anything extreme in America. There'd be a lot of opposition from the left, of course, but I do think the average American would like it.
I think I would push back on that because I think that the problem that you're outlining, that you're pointing at, the DAs and the judges, that's the biggest problem.
Yeah.
It's not whether or not we have laws sufficient to put people in jail for committing crimes. Yeah. We absolutely do. It's that we have an infestation of leftists in the judicial departments of these different states and cities and stuff. So how do you get people that want to have soft on crime policies, that believe in things like crazy bullshit like restorative justice? Yeah. How do you get them out of those positions when a lot of times would DAs have to be elected? Yes, but there are foreign entities that are dumping tons of money into these DA races, and then you got judges who generally are appointed for life, frequently, not all the time. There's some where there are elections and stuff, but judges that are appointed for life that have these, soft on crime policies, these restorative justice policies, where they're just like, well, if you are of a certain persuasion, if you're not a white person, we're going to go ahead and allow you to have a light sentence, a short sentence, let you go ahead and go free on your own recognizance, just promise you'll come back, or blah, 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 which always ends with terrible results. Not every individual, of course, but enough where it's generally, and it's enough where you can say these policies produce more crime and they are a danger to the population. Yeah. And you can see it on the subway in North Carolina, that poor girl that got stabbed. That guy should have been in jail, but they just kept letting him out and letting him out. And it turns into dead people.
Isn't that funny that Democrats are like, we need gun control laws, and then when they arrest a guy with an illegal gun, they say you're free to go?
Insane.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was like, there's all these laws, and I'm in total agreement. Like our justice system, the people carrying out justice, there's Soros-appointed DAs, et cetera, et cetera. Like we're all on the same page. But it's like, when you see that situation in Charlotte with Arena, it's like, I mean, no matter what laws you have passed, it's not going to stop that from happening.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.